Down there doing all this
You'll let me know when you want me to go on the record.
Call our meeting to order with pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just for logistics, this meeting recorded, broadcast live on Zoom. So we have to inform you that. We need to add some other normal business we go through, so it's going to be about 12 to 15 minutes before we get to conditional use hearing. So roll call, Robert May is here, Michael Fritz is here, Greg Duvall is here, Allison's here, Derek's here, Dave Eggert's here, Steve Geibel's here, Corey is here, Pam Stevens arrived, Susan Eggert is here, the Reverend is here, Mike Warren Lubinow's here, and Esquire is here. Minutes from we need to approve council minutes from our September 14th meeting. In October, two members who weren't there in September could not vote. We abstained to vote, so we didn't have a quorum to pass.
You know what? I don't have
September. That's all right. We saw him twice now.
Got an email.
So is there a motion to approve the minutes as have been previously presented?
I wish I had a comment about the minutes.
Yes.
Okay. It's not a correction since I wasn't there, and the minutes just record what actually happened. But in the library liaison report, you might recall that 2 months ago, I said it was time to find somebody younger, perhaps a parent with children.
For the library?
For it to be the library liaison. So to the extent that I mentioned Charlene's name, it was because of her network. She might know somebody, but while it's flattering to Charlene to think she's younger than I am, I never actually suggested her for the position.
I misunderstood you. You wanted me to reach out to her to take your place. So I will ask her if she knows of anyone.
I already talked to her. They're in Disney this week. She's celebrating her birthday. They're very happy.
Okay.
Follow her. But just that, the minutes are correct because they record what was said last month.
All right.
I make a motion to approve the September 14th, 2023 and October 12th, 2023 Borough Council meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded to approve the September 14th meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? So those who weren't there will abstain. Now we need a motion to approve October 12th Borough Council minutes. Are there any corrections or clarifications? Could the minutes be accepted as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve the October 12th minutes. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of payment of bills. Before you see bills payable as of November 8th, the general fund, you'll see $84,836.49. Sewer funds, $3,476.08. Liquid fuels fund is $3,139.88. Fire tax fund, $8,020. Is there a motion to approve payment of bills?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded for approval of and payment of the bills. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Approval of treasurer's report. We need a motion to accept and file for audit the consolidated treasurer's report and Public Works Garage Grant treasurer's report October 2023. In our general fund, we have $526,219.24. Reserve account, $125,616.09. Fire tax fund, $1,352.33. Sewer fund, $107,826.73. Liquid Fuels Fund, $255,656.98. And the Public Works Garage Grant has $496,197.56.
Motion to accept the file for the consolidated treasury report and Public Works Garage Grant Treasury Report as presented.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded to accept and file for audit the consolidated treasury report and our Public Works Garage Grant Treasury report. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Before you have a recommendation from the Planning Commission, a motion to accept the letter from the Planning Commission recommending the approval of the conditional use application of Tri-Valley Cheer Park. Anything else to tell us from the Planning Commission?
We reviewed it, we went over it, and we thought it was a good use of the property, and
Move forward.
we were supportive of it.
I'll make a
With
motion.
those three conditions
Yes.
that they stated in there.
Right, and we'll
Yeah,
go into
there was
conditional.
parking,
Parking and
lighting,
lighting and
lighting,
safety.
making sure-
pedestrian safety.
right.
Right, and when we go into the conditional use hearing, we'll mark the letter as an exhibit, an additional exhibit to the hearing which we have. And, we'll mark it as an exhibit, I'll read it into the record, and also references a lighting plan and a site plan from the original submission, which I'll also put in the record.
Make a motion to accept the letter from the Planning Commission recommending approval of conditional use application of Tri-Valley Cheer Club.
Motion been moved and seconded to accept the letter from the Planning Commission on the conditional use. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. And without further ado, we'll have our conditional use hearing since we've already passed the acceptance of the planning. That's what we had to get. Solicitor.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. This is the date, time, and place advertised for the conditional use hearing for the conditional use application of Tri-Valley Cheer Club for the property located at 3300 Old Turnpike Road, Suite C in the Borough. It is located in the C10 zoning district where a school of this type is considered to be a conditional use hearing. This will be the time for the taking of testimony and evidence to determine whether or not this meets the criteria for conditional use under the Borough of St. Lawrence zoning ordinance. Before we begin, I'm going to read some exhibits into the record. These are Borough Council exhibits. As Exhibit 1, and this is tab 1 of the hearing book. I've already shown council for the applicant the exhibits. Is a letter dated October 19th, 2023 from Michelle McCartney, agent for Tri-Valley Cheer Club, enclosing 10 copies of the conditional use application and representing the Tri-Valley as a school that teaches tumbling and cheer at a competitive level. It attaches the application itself, a copy of section 520 and 521 of the zoning ordinance and 522, which includes C10 uses. It has a plan showing the site. There is a detailed site plan from an original submission, as well as photographs, a copy of the deed to the property, and an aerial photo showing the location. As Exhibit 2 is a copy of the public hearing notice stating that this is the date, place, and time of the hearing, and the reason for the conditional use, the need for conditional use approval. The applicant is requesting conditional use approval by council in accordance with the zoning ordinance, Article 5 entitled Non-Residential Regulations, subsection 8 of section 522, C10 conditions permitted by right, which permits a commercial school, and C10 uses permitted by condition, which allows more than one principal use on a single lot, when approved by Borough Council, and C10 and section 525 C10 performance standards to permit the school as a second principal use of the property. Exhibit 3 is the affidavit of publication from Media News Group and 21st Century Media, with an affidavit that the Public hearing notice was published in the Reading Eagle hard copy and digital edition on October 27th, 2023, and October 31st, 2023. Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of posting at Borough Hall, signed by Susan Eggert, Borough Secretary, along with the public hearing notice posted. Exhibit 5 is the affidavit of posting of the property, signed by Susan Eggert, Borough Secretary, that the public hearing notice was posted at the property 3300 Old Turnpike Road, with photographs of the notice when posted and a copy of the public hearing notice. And exhibit 6 is a copy of the affidavit of mailing, property owner and residents, signed by Susan Eggert, that public hearing notice was mailed to properties within 500 feet of the tract boundary of the property, and attaching an extensive list of property owners who received notice at the hearing. What is not in the exhibit book, but also marked as an exhibit and again shown to council for the applicant, is a letter dated October 26, 2023 from the Borough of St. Lawrence Planning Commission to St. Lawrence Borough Council, which I'll read into the record. Dear Borough Council, the Planning Commission met on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023 to discuss the conditional use application submitted on behalf of Tri-Valley Cheer Club for the use of a building on the property at 3300 Ole Turnpike Road. The commission reviewed and discussed the use by Tri-Valley Cheer Club and was in full support of the use with a few concerns. First concern is parking. There should be formalized parking spaces. An old plan was reviewed and the commission is supportive of that plan. The commission has a concern for safe way pedestrian traffic in the parking lot and would like that addressed. The last concern is to verify sufficient lighting in the parking lot since the hours of operation are 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. In conclusion, as long as the above issues are addressed, the Planning Commission is in full support of Tri-Valley Cheer Club occupying the property at 3300 Ole Turnpike Road. Sincerely, Susan D. Eggert, Borough Secretary, also Planning Commission Secretary. And that was Exhibit 7. As Exhibit 8, I would like to have 2 documents marked, which we'll have marked after this hearing, and that is the site plan for the length of 3300 Old Turnpike Road LLC, which is the plan that is referred to in the Planning Commission letter that was prepared by John W. Hoffert, professional land surveyor. And also there is a proposed site lighting plan, again, for that initial plan. I believe the date on it is 5/11/2015, and that's titled Proposed Site Lighting Plan for 3300 Old Turnpike LLC. We'll begin the testimony. The adjoining property owners to the applicant's property has been mailed notice of the hearing. Is there anyone other than the applicant that would want to be a party to the hearing? It appears there are none. I understand the applicant is represented. Council, could you enter your appearance?
Yes, my name is Eric Elby Strawn, 5341 Perkins Avenue, Reading, PA 19606. I'm here on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, all testimony is going to be given under oath or affirmation. The way we'll proceed tonight is we'll allow the applicant to present testimony. Being that nobody has entered an appearance, we will not have cross-examination. Council may, however, ask questions of any of applicant's witnesses. And at the conclusion of the applicant's case, applicant may make a short closing statement. And at the conclusion of tonight's presentation, council will go into executive session to consider the application, evidence, and testimony. If we don't render a decision tonight, and I have every reason to believe we will, at that time, we'll advise you of the time and place when that decision will be made. You'll receive a decision in writing as required by the municipality's planning code within 45 days of the final hearing. Okay, before we get started, could applicant's counsel identify witnesses so they can be sworn collectively?
We're going to be on Nicole as well. That'll be the only one.
All right. You ready for me?
Well, kind of, are you guys gonna sit up here?
Yes.
Full name, spell your first and last name for me. Sure.
Nicole Rosella, Nicolloa.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, again?
All right, thank you. Mr. Zeller, what do you have to do with the applicant?
I am the owner and the president of Tri Valley Cheer Club, which is a nonprofit youth cheer and tumbling group.
And when was your group formed?
2019.
Did you recently lose your lease at another location?
We did. We had a 2-year lease in Borough, and we were given a 60-day notice, which kind of left our program in shambles. So we've been renting spaces, but we were there for 2 years, very involved in the community.
And where was that location in Borough?
320 West Main Street.
Was that the former Equabilities building?
It was.
And did you put a substantial investment in that building so it was safe for your participants?
We did. We put $100,000 into that building. Safety was our most important thing. We installed security doors, so all the schools have them, where nobody could just walk into our building, which we intend to do. You have to be buzzed in. Cameras both inside and outside with audio. This way, again, just for safety, we allow parents in the building to always view. Lighting will obviously be a big thing there, but safety is always, with my daughter in the program, is our most important focus.
And who else assists you with the program?
My sister Melissa,
Is she here too?
Yep,
Right
she's
there?
the co-owner, and then we have multiple coaches, parents, and athletes in the room.
All right, and they're here to support you?
I hope so.
Did you sign a letter of intent with the owner of the property?
Yeah,
And that's 3300 Old Turnpike LLC?
correct.
All right, and that was arranged through Michelle McCartney. You submitted your application by letter dated October 19, 2023.
Correct.
I'd just like to ask you about what it is that you intend to do with that. I think it's called Suite C.
Mhm.
And is that the building closest to the Indian Creek?
It is,
All right. What is your plan for that, please?
as far as,
As far as what you would do to get ready for the children, and then after we describe that, how you would intend to operate.
so I already have all the appointments tentatively scheduled. Obviously, it was based on the outcome of this evening. So ADT alarm to install the cameras, then Envision Security, who is the door system. They're taking out our existing system in the old building so that if it gets approved, put it in the new building. We will have a set door the athletes would enter, a designated staff member to be there at all times of entry and exiting. It's kind of what we have in place right now.
And what type of activity was the one within the building?
Cheer and tumble.
And I believe the building, at least according to my information, is about 8,200 square feet, is that correct?
We measured, it's just shy of that, yes.
All right, and do you intend to use the whole interior?
Yes,
And are there existing restroom facilities in there?
there are one. Mhm.
Just one?
Yes,
Do you intend to install any other plumbing in there?
that's a possibility.
What are your hours of operation that you anticipate?
Typically, we're there from 4:30 to about 8:30. During summer hours, we do summer camps. And then sometimes for holidays, could be different when we do trunk or treats or pancakes with Santa, but typically 4:30 to 8:30.
Is that Monday through Friday,
Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday?
Mhm.
Do you anticipate any difficulties with utilizing the facility?
No,
You've had an opportunity to look through it and feel comfortable with proceeding.
yes.
There was two comments made by the planning commission. Over the parking on the facility, the parking lot there. What is there now, you know?
Directly in front of the building, there are lined spaces, and if I recall correctly, there were 2 handicap spots, but then, to the side of it, it's gravel.
What is it that you intend to do with that right now? Do you intend to just leave it the way it is, or do you intend on improving it?
Whatever we have to do. Our old parking lot wasn't lined all the way either, so the part that was lined we utilized, but the part that was gravelled, we also utilized.
How many cars do you anticipate being parked there at any given moment?
Most of our parents choose to drop off, but some do stay, so I would say maybe 15 cars, including staff.
And there's plenty of parking there now to accommodate those cars.
And especially in our hours of operation, because the other businesses from every time I've been there have not been operating, so that would just add additional line spaces.
The second point by the planning commission was safety for pedestrians. Do you have any comment on that regard?
I would just ask for further clarification as far as the safety concern for pedestrians, because it's a gated property, so I'm not sure what pedestrians, other than our own.
Right, so your thought is that it's really restricted from the community, it's just for people that are coming there to use the facility.
Correct.
And so your interpretation of that might be people just coming from their cars and going into the building.
Correct.
All right, so the third point was the lighting. It was pointed out that the facility is going to be open year round, so from 4:30 to 8:30, we're going to need lighting, obviously. You know what lighting is there now?
I do not.
Do you intend to install adequate lighting so that there won't be a hazard for anybody?
Yes, that was on our list of improvements that we submitted on our letter of intent.
Can you tell us how many participants you expect to have at any given point in time?
It could range on the evening, but as far as full-time, all-year athletes, we have approximately 70. But when you include tumbling students, it could be anywhere around the 200 mark.
Can you tell us what tumbling means and what the cheer means? How does that work?
Sure, so we're not sideline cheerleaders, even though majority of us coach sideline as well. We are strictly tumbling, so you're flipping, throwing people in the air, and we travel all throughout the East Coast and go to nationals in Florida. So it's a competitive sport.
That's the tumbling and the cheer. I think those are all the questions I have. Are we marking all the exhibits in the mark, and we have no objection to offer them?
These, the 7 or 8 exhibits have been, are being marked. Do you have any exhibits that you intend to?
No, we just intend to utilize the board exhibits, which have already been submitted.
Right, yeah, you have no objection to those?
No, we have no objection.
All right, I have a couple of questions, for Mr. Zella. You had said that there are approximately 70 cheerleading students and tumbling in about approximately 200. What would be the highest number of students that you would have on the property at any given time?
So for example, tumbling, we will run 3 classes at once and we max them at 10. So you would have 30 students, but then every hour it rotates. So when I give those numbers, it's not in the building all at once. It could be there the same day, but on average, 30 to 40 athletes per hour.
And with how many instructors do you have?
For cheer, every team has 2 coaches. For tumble, we do a ratio of 2 to 10 athletes.
Okay, two instructors to 10 athletes for tumble.
Correct. And the industry standard is 1 to 10.
And for cheer, how many coaches? Two per squad?
Minimum of 2 per squad, yes.
So how many instructors, what would be the most instructors that you would have on the property at any given time?
Well, if you include my sister and I, we're there for everything. Usually 4, 6
4 to 6 instructors at any given time?
for cheer.
What about your tumble?
Again, we usually have 3 classes at one time. So if we have 3 classes, you have 6 coaches.
Coaches.
And all of our coaches are CPR first aid certified. We have to go through extensive USASF training. It's like a governing of cheer. So we do concussion training, safety training as far as sexual predators, everything and anything you could think of.
Are all of the coaches over the age of 18?
Yes.
On another topic, would you be willing to work with code officials and implement their recommendations for pedestrian safety?
Absolutely.
And will you install lighting as required by the planning commission and by the borough's code officials?
Absolutely.
You had mentioned that there is one restroom. Is that a full restroom with showers, or is it
No shower, it's
how many
a toilet and a
stalls?
urinal. It's one bathroom.
One unisex bathroom? And will you install restrooms as required by the borough's codes and also in accordance with disabilities accessibility requirements?
Yeah, that restroom is ADA. I would certainly would work with whatever's needed.
You had mentioned summer camps as a possibility. Do you have summer camps at your current location?
Yeah, yes.
And how many students do you have in the summer camps?
Ranges anywhere from 15 to 30.
And what days of the week?
We typically run Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2. We do about 2 weeks out of the summer.
2 weeks at a summer.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you have events such as exhibitions or recitals where there are parents invited?
Well, so parents are invited all the time. That's one of the things that makes our program unique. We call them showcases. So we will typically do them on the Friday before a competition.
How many parents typically attend?
Well, we do one team at a time, so it would just depend on each team. Our tiny teams, which are ages 4 to 6, has about 10 athletes. And then our older teams have anywhere from 11 to 17 per team.
And your current school is in year-round use?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
And would this location be the same in year-round use?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions. Does anyone on council or Pamela? Yes.
When I drove by tonight, it looks like the wall pack by the garage door is either out or non-existent. That side of the building is very dark. That would be the parent entrance,
Which entrance?
the parent entrance side,
So it would be the one right by the window.
the garage door.
No, there's a regular door.
It's a garage type door and a man door, we call it.
Correct, it would be the man door then. So there's 2 garage doors. Back door right there.
What you've labeled in your application as parent entrance.
Yeah, so that was one of our considerations at the beginning.
That's the athlete entrance.
No, but that's gonna have to be the door that's the only door that can use the special system, where you have to be buzzed in and you can't just walk in. So at the beginning, until we are able to do different doors if needed, that will be where everybody is coming in and out of, because we will have control of who's in and out of that.
So what I'm asking though is the conditional use application
Mhm.
conflicts right now with what you're telling us. So I just want to make sure that the conditions the council render for the conditional use are accurate.
Yes.
And if it's a phased approach, that's fine. But I'm telling you this currently when I drove by, purposely I went that way. That is the dark side.
And I agree, but that's why we switched it to this
Okay.
one.
I think the application may need to be amended or just clarified.
Okay.
Which side is the
This is what you're referring to?
Yes.
So would that be the future?
Future, once the lighting and everything and a second door system's put in.
But you should still light that side.
Oh,
anyway,
absolutely.
for safety from the parking lot into.
Absolutely.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Yes.
Quick question for the security system, is this gonna be central station monitored?
Yes.
Okay, if you get your approval, just make sure that when you tell your alarm company you're giving the address, don't give them Reading,
Okay.
give them St. Lawrence,
Okay.
because the dispatch center goes by municipality on mailing address.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yes.
The security system you spoke of, are you putting an external camera on?
Absolutely.
That's a big thing toward public safety. So.
External and internal. And internal will have audio.
Anyone else on council?
So for clarification, you're agreeing that we're gonna be probably making some interior alterations, perhaps more restrooms based on the number of people being used. And you're aware that the borough has to abide by the building code as directed by the Pennsylvania. So you'll have to have certified plumbers, certified electricians, full permits with sort of like hand sketches to do all that, to get a permit to do.
Yes.
How's that? Good.
No one has come in the room. Bert, do you have any information? About that?
I mean, I think this is good news for the building. I think the application has been properly submitted and supported by the testimony here and exhibits that have been offered. I'm guessing that the
Do you have any additional witnesses?
no.
Do we want to recess to executive session to make a decision?
I don't think so. I think we can just amend or cease the conditional use hearing. We'll go back to normal business.
All right, so do you want to?
And there'll be a motion to accept the conditional use.
All right, and would that motion be then subject
To the
planning commission?
Commission and the responses to the questions by the council and the engineer.
So it would be so that it would be in accordance with the conditions in the planning commission decision of October 26, 2023, and the evidence and testimony presented by applicant tonight.
Correct.
Do we have, so we'll conclude the hearing, do we have a motion to conclude the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to, there's a motion to approve, excuse me, there's a motion to end the hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed.
Okay, and then do we have a motion to approve the conditional use application, subject to the conditions contained in the planning commission letter of October 26, 2023, and in accordance with evidence and testimony presented this evening?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve the conditional use hearing based on the subject to conditions in the application, in the planning commission letter, and the testimony in the hearing tonight. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed.
We'll have the written decision in 45 days. Okay, start. generally.
You know, you can start.
Okay, I was like, oh God. These kids till then. I literally got goosebumps from that. I was like, so, am I allowed to ask questions?
Jim, will you go on the record or?
No, we don't need hearing exam. Go ahead.
So that gives us permission to start moving stuff in, setting up, and as long as I do whatever I'm told I need to do, are we able to start operating as we
Right,
normally
you
would?
need to coordinate with, your electrical and plumbing and things like that, or the concern is, at some point, your population of use may require more public restrooms, so just be cognizant of that as you ramp up.
Okay,
You know,
so
because
how do I know if I need that stuff?
You'll have to call and get contractors, when you get bids, they have to pull
But
permits.
as far as your.
Call.
Oh, okay. So just call and someone tell me if we need to add another bathroom or something.
But the main thing I think she's concerned about is they can start cheering practice.
Right.
Do we have to do all this stuff first? And
No,
then
no.
if they approve,
Start doing it to just be cognizant, hey, if we have contractors, they're telling us when they can come, it's all, phased, we call it phased.
We still believe in good faith.
If there are lights that are present that aren't turning on, I would check with Scott Landis to make that any lighting that you have on, the whole idea of the parking and the internal circulation is that whole lot that's not marked, that should be marked out so that you have proper spaces, because kids being dropped off, walking, maybe a cross hatching walkway across so parents can see, or a sign or something, and that area is lit, so that you don't have kids coming, going, running past and.
Yeah, and that was tied in with the pedestrian concern. and stuff that You don't have cars parked all over.
Well, thank you all very much for all your time.
Good luck.
We're excited to be a part of the community.
Welcome to the borough.
Thank you.
Welcome to the borough.
We were highly looking forward to that vacant jam place. Oh, the other building, oh, never mind. They were lit, at least that's a warehouse. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I always. That's why I figured. Yep. Thank you.
I see Chris.
So we'll go ahead with our meeting if there's no public comment from internet or anything like that. We have our mass exodus of the applicant. So we'll. Consultants report for engineer. I think you report. All right. Solicitor.
My item is the ad hoc public works garage committee, it's later in the agenda. I've been working on trying to solicitor also spoken with Brian Boland about getting that meeting together with Avema, and we're still working on that.
Solicitor, are you aware that there's been a new rate increase proposed by PA American submitted to PUC as of yesterday or today?
This is the first time hearing it, that doesn't surprise me.
$203 million.
Huh? I think I printed it out. I probably left it home. They're upping everybody's rate, even us. We're actually listed in their rate application as bulk user Borough St. Lawrence.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sure it's going up.
What rate would be?
044 or something like that. So anyway, I think at some point in new business, we may authorize our solicitor to represent us again at the PUC. To object.
To file a.
The follow, yeah.
Protest with the last time, I have to.
Yeah, and I think if we can be more specific this time, that we can't ever understand exactly what they're charging us to get to that number. So we feel our fiduciary responsibility is sort of hindered to the citizens if we can't understand how they got from one number to the next, what that really includes.
They've already appealed in our.
Well,
That's our basis. I mean, that's our basis.
Yeah, just give me a copy of the tariff increase.
1,600 pages.
1,600 pages. Okay.
We don't want you to read it all. I'll just give you the core parts.
I just need I just need the part that applies. No, it would overwhelm our office computers, which is easily challenged, unfortunately. So yes, 1,600 pages would not be good.
So more to come. Borough Mayor, anything to report?
I have a report in your packet.
Yep.
Not much going on. They did, we had an officer retire, Officer Borough, and they have chosen 3 new police recruits to go to the academy that Senator Berks is going to sponsor. And upon the upcoming, there's just discussion on the upcoming retirement of Chief Serafin. They're going to be discussing hiring within or hiring outside.
Any discussion of like poaching, someone from Reading, please?
They talked about that. They're really in favor of hiring within because of.
Yeah, it always makes better,
helps the morale, the longevity.
There's a progress of staying on one place,
Right, but-
achieving high.
And we have one person, everyone seemed to go the same track except Troy Goodman from Mount Penn. He wants them to, and they talked about the expense of, advertising and like doing a worldwide search, and he wants the option of being able to interview people. So I guess, I'm not sure if they're gonna still have more discussion as far as what they're gonna do. That was the first time they spoke about it.
Is there a retirement date?
I think he has 2 years, but they're gonna start now until they start getting everything in line.
Greg, does that coincide with your retirement date?
No, I'm ahead of him, so.
Could be a
We have a
future
year.
endeavor.
We have 8 years.
That's a good retirement job.
Oh, yeah.
No more.
That was convincing.
And congratulations, Mayor, on the re-election.
Thank you, thank you. It's a tough race.
It was a Snickers
It
bar.
was Snickers.
Snicker bar.
Go, yes.
Is that it? Good.
That's it.
Anything from zoning code enforcement? Not really.
No, all of them are gonna occur after the budgets are passed, and then there's a whole list of stuff to go to take care of.
Public safety?
Okay, before we get to the motion with the ongoing declaration of disaster, received an email from DES. The FEMA has approved Berks County's hazard mitigation plan. The county commissioners have approved it, and for next month, I'll have a resolution that we would support that or approve that. That way, that gets us the opportunity to get grant funding, things like that. So I'll have that for next month. Also, make a motion to approve ongoing declaration of disaster emergency caused by the rain event on July 9th, 2023, so we can get applications processed, et cetera, for mitigation along the Antietam Creek.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion moved and second to approve an ongoing declaration of disaster emergency caused by the rain event on July 9th. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion passed. Is that it? Public Works, sewer, street, stormwater.
My report is in your packet. A couple of big things to note. Practicing was completed within the borough. Our heating system is under upgrade right now. We actually have all the regulators installed over the past month at UGI upped our gas pressure to 2 pounds to be able to accommodate for the higher whip or higher draw for the heater. They'll be in here.
Big blast furnace, right?
Yeah, they'll be here next week to do the installation of the burner and the flue piping for the exhaust. And then right behind where my report should be, there's an email from the USDA. It appears as though we're approved for the mitigation and damming or the armoring of Antietam Creek for Whitehall's property and the areas right behind Bingham Street there. The total of that project is coming around right around 300,000. I didn't look at that number really hard, but everything's in place for us to not have to put any money towards it. The conservation district's going to sponsor it, And then they're just gonna finish off with making sure DEP picks up the other 25%.
We should probably take really good pictures of before and after, because I think if we ever get back with our MS4 permit, things like armoring creeks and stuff like that after flooding becomes a actionable item under those permits. So we sort of don't have a permit anymore, but I keep thinking DEP is gonna
Say,
still
we're-
twist this and put us back in.
Yeah, we're in a waiver, so there's nothing that stops us from getting thrown in at any time.
Right.
They can say we're back in.
They can change the waiver, they can change their waiver conditions, they can, basically do whatever they want.
I will say, I don't know if I said this last time with USDA, they actually said that the amount of work that was going on down there might be one of those keystone projects for them, so they're gonna maybe use this as some of their pamphlet information for future projects.
Good job.
Well done.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Regarding the project map we passed out, I'm not sure what the term Cape refers to.
Oh, now we're on street.
We'll get to that in budget.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
talk about a project.
It's a garment you wear over your shirt.
You're a superhero.
Exactly.
That's it for my.
All right, finance 1% real estate taxes uncollected. That's it. Review of proposed budgets for general fund, sewer fund, liquid fuels fund, fire tax fund, and EMS tax fund.
Everybody has hard copies, the only thing that changed was Derek gave me different numbers for liquid fuels. Do you wanna start easy and work to hard, or start hard and work to easy?
The real life, you're always supposed to take the hardest ones first, so then downhill.
That's
They weren't in your package, they were kind of kept separate.
They were
They're
right in
right
inside.
so that you wouldn't have to go digging looking for them, but.
So what's the hardest one, general?
General fund though is the hardest one if you wanna look down by line item, but basically it is, there's unknowns, so we can only guess. If you don't know, Susan is retiring at the end of this year, so we are in search of a secretary, and who we find and age and insurance coverage is all based off of age. I age out in March, I go on Medicare, so that is a significant reduction of health insurance costs for the borough.
Are you on it, general, on the health insurance?
Yeah. So it is along the lines of, it's trying to guess who we find and what that's going to look like cost, so it's a guess. Otherwise, everything else, as far as wages, Bob had asked me to work 3%, 5%, and 7% increases, so for the budget purposes, I've used 5. Because I figured that.
The budget committee suggested that, 5 then? Yeah.
As the basis for trying to look through everything, there's, we could go through it line item, but, the recreation hourly staff is up where it is because Susan will graciously, work in the summer at an hourly rate, basically.
A leader again?
Not a leader, more like a supervisor, organizer of the whole program, and make sure that the leaders have the resources they need to do their job. Help organize the egg hunt, or organize it and run it. We kind of wanted to dump the Centennial Committee on her shoulders.
Everybody gets punished for a good deed, if you're gonna leave us, you're gonna get punished for the whole day. That's all I can say.
He said you need to be hard first.
There's no big questions, we'll just probably say, let everybody, look at it in more detail, because we're just gonna publish it as a draft.
You got pass it.
Pass it as a draft.
We have to approve the preliminary budget and you cannot make significant changes to it and adopt it as. a
Solicitor, what's
final.
significant? 10%, 20%, 30%?
Let me see if there's
And go here with
In my world, that's like 50%, so I don't think there's any real problem. It's just one of those things, you know, right on top of your head, solicitor. You know, it's budget season. You got how many, 16 clients?
some boroughs, some
We're the only ones that ask questions, like, yeah.
some boroughs, some townships, and I don't want to mix up the two codes.
While she's looking at that, are you reorganizing this during even years? You're going to meet, but are you doing your regular meeting then as well?
Correct, usually when we organize, we have to make that reorganization meeting first, and then we do a regular meeting.
I have been tasked for the past 20 years to make sure that they have no extra meetings. So reorganization meeting is the council meeting.
In other words,
For the month.
in other words, for us, it's all hands on deck.
It's
That's it.
combined, so it's, I need to attend that, is what you're saying.
Not, I don't know. You know, if you want to zoom in from somewhere else, you could do that.
I'm just saying it's combined meeting.
It is, we just go right from,
And there's not really that much to do.
You know,
if you have somewhere else you have to be,
well, that's what she said, all hands on deck. So-
Yeah, just zoom in.
we have no, there's usually January, there's pretty light.
Well, I'm sure I do a report, so I'm
Yeah.
not here. Again, it's
Yeah.
very quiet.
Nobody wants to be doing anything anyway.
In the old days, we didn't have any money in January to pay bills anyway, so, you know, it was just like, you know.
And you don't have to pay me to
So if we want to move on, we'll say general fund sort of almost ready for, you know, submittal. What's next?
I just-
Sewer?
I picked up sewer.
Yeah.
Sewer, I actually did see the rate increase, I forwarded it to you.
Yeah, but you didn't open up 1,600 pages. and
Yes, I
look-
did.
Look for it.
I just didn't, I did find, the 1,600 page.
That was part one. Part one was the 1,600 page. It was 2 parts.
Oh, okay,
So. That's why the printer's not.
well, we're at 41, and that was 44,
You're right.
so, and that's per 100 gallon.
Correct. But I was mad because then they charge like, if you come in with a porta potty, it seemed like it was cheaper. They were charging someone bringing stuff in cheaper than what they were gonna charge us. And so to me, there was no logic in some of it in comparison, so.
Tank it and take it over.
Right.
Wow.
And then like leachate was cheaper, I think, than our rate. And leachate's a much more concentrated, you know, it's like from landfills and stuff like that. It has a lot of nasty stuff in it, heavy metals and that. And they're gonna charge them cheaper than us, so, you know,
What they're
I'm starting the argument.
incorporating in their costs is the fact that they are under consent order for the collection system and the plant.
Right.
So the amount, so we do have to contribute towards the plant update and the portion of the collection system that we.
Yeah, and then there was also a thing about if whatever EDUs you have now are good, but if EDUs in the future are like $4,000 a year. So I think we should negotiate what we have now versus what it compares to the EDU gallon amount. And sort of try to cut a addendum that here's our EDUs, we have capacity yet, based on the numbers, and not get it thrown in as $4,000. You know, it wouldn't be us, it'd be anybody trying to, you know, build something new, you know. I can't remember last time someone came and asked for an EDU. Well, we could die.
Couple of years ago, we've had 2 new homes built.
But the point being, that's something else we need to look at, you know, so.
I have an answer for you. It really
Oh, good.
isn't much, but all that the borough code says is the budget must be as comprehensive and exact as the information available will permit.
That's a significant.
It's a bit different than the township.
It's about as weasel word as you can write. Must have been a lawyer writing that.
They're
Yeah.
never clear.
What kind of considerations do you get from being American for their use of our system?
We've always sort of held that as a lever.
They, let's put it this way, they are continuing well beyond the agreement for using the water meter reads for billing and not the flow metering at the meter pits, which is what caused all the issues in the first place. And they were telling us at one point, we were 35% of the flow at the sewer plant, which wasn't even possible.
The other thing is that every time they sort of communicate, they go, hey, do you want to sell to us? So, you know, the user, answers, well,
No.
no. So it's sort of like this, what is I used to call it? Some sort of south of the border standoff, so.
That feels like always, but I guess is in any way, shape or form, can we use that as any kind of leverage to at least force them to back off a little bit?
I don't know, I think what we'll end up probably doing is writing a letter of clarification or question and through our attorney and talk to them that we're gonna be at the PUC with the same concern.
Yeah.
And let them have a chance to, be able to have answers to the PUC. It's the only fair way really to do it.
I mean, as far as the current sewer accounts, the township isn't currently planning on pursuing anything at this time. That's what I was told by their solicitor.
We don't have a written agreement with them.
Well, we have a contract per se. It's with the PUC. I mean, they denote us as a bulk user. Then in the whole 600 pages, the only bulk users Borough St. Lawrence for wastewater.
There's no dollar amount.
No.
That or percentage amount in any way connected to that agreement.
No.
It is acknowledged that they flow through, it was brought up and it was discussed. And it is one of the arguments that we used with them in how they develop pricing for our flow, which is significantly less than what Exeter residents pay.
Yeah, I think last time we calculated, it was like 42% or something like that. Our citizens pay 42% of what Exeter residents pay for sewer.
Given
Just
given
neighbors up the street from me.
Given that we obviously still own that district, is there anything wrong with asking to maintain that dollar amount with no increase?
Well, I think that's all, they're gonna come back and say, we're mandated to do these improvements at the plant, so you're gonna get hit with some sort of increase for that.
But the idea is we have the collection system to at least lessen the rate of increase.
Right.
Well, we don't prevent any increase.
I have to
I'm not talking stable rate, I'm just saying.
Right, the last time when they did ours, I sat and did a calculation and compared the Exeter rate and our rate, and the fact that we consider the collection system kind of a wash, so that we would be plant only, and argue that the percent increase that we had was not correct, and they actually did lower the rate for us on that. The numbers just came flying today, and I have not had a chance.
The other thing we do is we talk, when they talk about I&I, because that's a lot of their problem on their side of the collection. We go, hey, listen, we just spent $400,000 on ours. We're pretty confident with I&I. We don't want you to talk to us about I&I in our system.
Right, we had an ongoing project.
Right. So, and I think they recognize that, but they just don't want to acknowledge it. Because we even said, we'll send you all the videos, we'll send you everything got done, and they don't have that type of, the system's much larger than Exeter anyway, but they don't have that type of data to reflect where I think all the problems are. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Bottom line, they're still using our services.
Yeah.
And again, we're still responsible for that system.
Yeah.
They're not contributing anything toward the
No.
maintenance of that system,
But
just the usage.
But the trade-off is, the agreement says either use the meters and bits, which we hated, or the water readings from Mount Pet. So they graciously always say, use the water meter readings. So if you really wanted to gain better, perhaps lowering our total cost, is somehow we would get meters run out.
Well,
on water meters.
holding the line on the cost.
Well,
not so much lower.
Yeah, but I'm saying meters are made to wear in favor of the customer. So if we had better meters or more accurate meters, which we don't know, they're Mount Pens, we would probably have a lesser number.
It was not only just the
Right.
meters, it was also the flow channels, the whole design of the meter
Yeah.
was the issue.
So, it's always better for us to have better water meters, but we don't control that part.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's,
you're talking about two different meters. You're talking
Oh,
about
yeah, I'm
the
sorry.
in-house meter.
yeah, I'm
In-house
sorry.
meter and on the
Yeah,
You're
farm.
talking about the flow meter.
Right, so right now, we're built on Mount Penn house water meter.
With
readings.
an added.
Right.
And that's to our advantage, so that's why we don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
leverage them using our pipe. Because we know it's in good shape, we had it televised, we had it repaired 10 years ago, I think,
No.
5 years ago, this time.
That section?
Yeah.
That interceptor, I think, was done in 2005. That's an older line section.
Yeah, but that liner is good for like 50 years,
Yeah,
we'll probably end up, don't we videotape everything?
We had it all videotaped, it's all in great shape.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that was my point, we know the condition of it, so.
It was 10 years, 10 years prior to the last
Yeah.
go round.
Yeah, I'm sure if you looked at it, dollars per distance of sewer pipe that they have to, what we spend a lot more.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I think that's a point of.
Right, that's one of our contention factors, PUC, all the time.
Absolutely.
But they were probably their best bulk customer they're ever gonna see, no, they're still one. Anything else about sewer as we talk? We'll put that one on the side and go to the next one, liquid fuels.
Now, liquid fuels actually changed,
Because Derek has a new drawing.
well, Derek
I
presented
refined the
late,
number a little bit.
he presented late in the game. Like after I left,
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Okay.
because even after I left.
There's KC's engines.
Microservices, we've done this before.
Yeah, it's a combination now.
Yeah.
Seal and then soy seal.
Yeah.
I saw, I would buy one of this being done.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. It was in somebody's house. I drove by, I said, it's flaming and.
Yeah, so they heat it up, and they take it up.
They were flaming the crap.
Yeah, that'd probably be illegal here in a couple more years.
No,
Fossil fuels.
Uh,
There'll be a
so-
big windmill up there, trying to get that heat up.
So essentially, in liquid fuels now, there's a proposal of doing some cape sealing in the borough, along with some chip seals and some of the lesser driven roads. But essentially, cape seal is a much cheaper version of repaving a road, as long as it's in a good condition, which by most of our roads, they're in pretty solid shape. I rate them Bs, a lot of B pluses. And the objective of the cape seal is to kind of contain those roads from deteriorating further. And as you can see in that packet, you're gonna get an 8 to 10 year life. That's what is expected for that B rate road, which right now, if you go 5 years from now, it'll just deteriorate further. So objectively, we're trying to get ahead of the game now. And I know a big thing with this is you want to try to crack seal the road ahead of time to stop reflective cracking through this, because it's a very thin layer. That's why it's called a microsurface that goes over top of that road. And so I want to try to get after some of the roads that have just recently been crack sealed. That way we are literally ahead of those roads. We don't have to worry about crack sealing them again to try to do the surface treatment. So there is a map that shows where a lot of these roads can get done.
These stuff that are close.
Yeah, that's slurry.
Isn't it interesting that most of the roads proposed for Cape are like high traffic roads where people don't live in the borough, but go travel through the borough?
Well, you want the traffic to.
I understand, I'm just making, making a back point.
Yeah, so there's 3 roads that I'm suggesting we just chip seal. That way we don't have to worry about the Cape, because they're non-traveled. Top of Adams Street, Pine Avenue, and then there's a bottom section of Parkview we own that's in front of the apartments that.
But would it be faster, or how much more it costs is it to cape everything and not chip and sit and chip?
So the chip, you get a little bit more, I think it's flexibility out of it, because it's essentially emulsion with the chip over top. So it kind of acts more like a road as far as flexibility goes. Whereas the Cape, that slurry seal goes over top and hardens the whole road and seals it in.
I was just wondering, do we get any advantage going ahead and just caping the spit and seal areas? If there's less chip areas, could we just cape those? How much more would that cost?
So
Would it be better
Pamela may
off?
know this better than I, when I talk to AMS is who I talk to, which is one of the bigger outfits in this area that does that. On roads that you don't expect, like, so Pine Avenue and the top Adams are one of the more lower rated roads here. They're basically Bs and C minuses. He suggested the chip seal, a double chip seal, because you get a better structure out of that than putting the cape over top. Because if it does flex with the cape seal on top, it'll just crack. Because that's a hard layer that goes over top of your chip seal. That's what how I was explained. Pamela may know better than that.
Bottom line is with the oil and shit, the oil's put down first.
I know.
Chips are put on the top.
I know, but people complain so much all the
That's why
time.
I'm focusing on just the lesser
All over
travel
my car.
roads.
Yeah, all over my rug, that's why I'm trying to think maybe the cape would be, to get us out of all that. If we spend a little bit more money, would the cape be okay, but structurally we better to
The
double
roads,
chip.
the roads are in not great shape, so he suggested the double chip.
So do you chip right on top of the first, you double
Yeah, you go
seal?
right over top of the other.
Okay, so you seal, chip, then go right back again, seal again, and another layer of chip. Sand chip, yeah.
All right, the big thing though with cape seal is it does better with higher traffic. Does better because you're asking for the public, to now mix the microservices with the chips. The other thing that we did is they need to bring in your sweeper and sweep up the chips that are typically along the shoulder or the center of the road for safety reasons.
That is in that contract, so.
I'm just
yeah.
saying, telling the council. that
And
that's
this
what
war is gonna kill us. If we have a rainstorm with all those chips.
It's used a lot across the state, so
It
I want to
is,
be the only ones.
We use
It'll
it,
be in the woods. It's not gonna make it anywhere else.
yeah, we use it in other municipalities and it's very successful if you have high traffic. Because that's what's needed. But for safety reasons, the chips have to be vacuumed up.
Yeah, so that's in the proposed budget number in there, that includes everything, them doing all the prep, them sweeping, them doing application, everything's in there.
And then the oil and chip is better for your rural roads.
Yep, that's
Okay.
Pine Avenue, Adams Street. The end of Parkview Road is a dead end road, but we have to maintain it just because of how that.
Now, there's called fog seal too, if you have a problem of kinds, they'll recommend what they call fog seal or like the cul-de-sacs, things like that, in dead ends. I forget how much additional that is, but it did help with making sure all the chips didn't end up down in the cul-de-sac.
Civil engineers, we'll talk about.
Derek, what does budget allows?
So right now, the budget number is basically the highest number they told me for what the chip was. So it was $5 to $6 on the existing stuff that I think we needed to do. But I was able to add some in that got us a better price, $4 to $5 for the cape. But again, I'm going with a higher number, so $5 budget for the square yardage. That may come down. And the budget number for the liquid fuels in entirety was 150,000 with some patching and all the other stuff. So that number comes down and it's still below that 150,000. I like to add in those other streets, but I don't want to say we can do them without the budget, without that number actually coming in.
Would add them in as cape or chip?
They would become capes, because one's Bingman Street and the bottom side of Adams Street.
And you could add them in as alternates too, or
Yeah.
add-ons. The other thing that we saw is AMS tends to corner the market, so if you only get one bid and it exceeds your budget, throw it out. There's a company in Jersey that's competitive. I'll see if I can get you their name, if you let them know when you're bidding it, and this all goes forward. If they're in the area.
Is AMS co-stars? They are for, if you do, it's called skim chips.
But no, there's others.
Not for this, no, because I asked all this. I was hoping they would be.
No, they're not for that. They do corner markets.
What I do want to do next year is come to the Berks County Cooperative Purchasing Council, because a lot of other municipalities do chip seals. And have them try to bring up a spec and do like a piggyback, almost like we do for road salt and all the other stuff. Because all the other municipalities that do chip seals, you could just put it all together and people just piggyback onto it.
Well, typically that's more in this area.
So that's my presentation.
No, I agree. I think it's a great idea. You have to pick exactly what AMS has designed these treatments for, so.
Is there advantage to try to be like on the front end of this stuff, like as weather breaks, because it's smaller than some of the bigger projects, where they can get consumed on bigger projects?
Yeah, typically, if you fit it out in January, February, you're gonna start your schedule. Because it is temperature tolerant, so I think it's 50, 50 is.
Yeah, I think it's 50 and rising is what it
Yeah,
says.
it has, it actually means warmer than your hot mix or warm mix, so there is a ton, small time thing. A lot of times they do it, so you don't get as much traffic.
Any questions about paving? Shall we move on? All this excitement, sewer, pavement. Fire tax.
Louis, yeah, that's pretty much,
About all the same, isn't it?
yeah, and we ended up making a second dispersal this year, and we've taken the balance down to around $1,600 to carry to next year. The timing on getting any tax dollars in at this point is not good until
Right.
that last
Yeah.
1%, if you're gonna collect it, they're paying at the end of December.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't get dispersed till January anyway. It really is, there's 5,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions about fire tax budget? We'll move over to EMS budget.
That one was easy. There's nothing there beforehand. The only thing I would say, is that we end up having only 30,000 to disperse to Lower Houses and ambulance, and whether that is sufficient, if we do it the same as we did with the fire, the tax collection charge. One, it's $1,000 to add that tax, which we charged against that fund, and that is a guess on the 911 communication fees, because they did go up this year, but we don't.
They probably everybody raised there, all the overtime.
We won't, the county has not sent us any information. The assessment office hasn't sent any updates. They keep saying they will, but they never show up.
Listen, we'll find out whether they'll be happy or they won't be happy with that amount. That's all we can do.
So, that is, and, yeah. And it's a guess as to the timing on what's coming in, and obviously there's nothing from a prior year because it's new.
So just for clarification, this covers every resident for the full subscription.
Base.
The premium, no, they say it's the premium
Yeah.
household subscription.
Yep.
And by the way.
I think I voted, I asked that at the last time at your presentation. Yeah.
Just checking out.
I didn't read that.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't cover like the gymnastics and stuff, that.
No,
Yeah.
they do have a business one that they have, but
Is it just residential?
Yes.
Yes, I reached out to them, Warren, to Laura Alsis, but I never got an answer about, remember when
Yeah,
Commissioner
right,
talked
right,
about.
we had a
I
discussion
never,
on
I
that,
did send
whether,
an email out to Phil, and I never did
you
get a
know, for EMS,
response. Like a
you know,
business.
it's fine for, you know, they're flipping kids up in the air, somebody gets hurt.
Here's one consideration. If the patients, the pediatric patient and their parents are a member of another EMS organization, say they live over in Spring Township.
Yeah,
And they're a
okay,
member of Western Berks EMS.
then
They have reciprocal billing agreements.
Okay.
So
it doesn't have to be
they'll
within-
honor,
Anywhere they're located within,
they'll honor Western Berks membership if that family has a membership with Western Berks EMS.
So it's just like anything else, I mean, if you go, if I go into Wawa and have a heart attack, you know, I'm not covered by Lower Houses there, that's gonna get my own insurance. So what we're doing basically saying, if you get hurt at your home and you're a resident of the borough, you're gonna cut that charge.
Right.
So,
But if you get hurt at Wawa,
right,
then, so, depending on which Wawa you're at, you're a member of Lower Houses ambulance.
that other agency
If
should,
they have it, if
Yeah.
it's within the county and it's not a hospital-based EMS agency,
does
they
it mean
have
we're
a
gonna have to,
reciprocal billing.
are we gonna have to ask them to send something out, like a proof of membership or something to our citizens, or how's that gonna
I
work?
don't think that's necessary. I think if that comes to it, where a resident comes to us and says, hey, I got transported over to Spring Township I need proof that I'm a member of Laurel Savings. We send them a copy of our minutes.
Okay.
I think that should be sufficient.
Or Laura has a sandwich, and send them something.
Yeah.
Well, Laurel
yeah.
can send it something too.
I think some of the more elderly people in the borough might want to. Not to
Well,
the,
you could put something in the newsletter.
Yeah, we'll definitely have something in the newsletter, and I'm sure there'll be an onslaught of seasoned citizen questions.
When they did it in Lower Alces Township, it just kind of went smoothly. And everybody seemed to be
We have more cantankerous
happy.
people.
I'm not saying it won't.
There's a legend of line blocks in this. There's always cantankerous. Okay, no more discussion on all the potential budgets. Is there a motion to advertise our preliminary budgets, all these preliminary
You
budgets?
have to first motion to approve.
Oh,
the
sure.
Make a motion to approve the preliminary budgets for general fund, sewer fund, liquid fuels fund, fire tax fund, and EMS tax fund.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve the proposed budgets. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now we need a motion to approve preliminary budgets for publication.
No, we get that, that's under new business.
Okay. So we're done there. Manager, discussion of motion to authorize the manager to negotiate new copier lease. So apparently, copier companies were leasing to a lot of big offices where businesses were. So many people are working at home that the copier market's sort of collapsing for like big office copiers and stuff like that. So there's an opportunity to get out of the lease we have now to maybe have a reduction of maybe up to 40% for like the same thing, so that maybe that's stable. So anyway, if we could, I wanted to see if we can authorize the manager to negotiate that in the lease as long as it's not more than what we're paying.
So moved.
Motion been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Can I say something before we get too far away?
Well, you cannot be messing with our agenda here. Can you wait till new business?
I can.
Okay.
It'll be new business.
Ad hoc Public Works Garage Committee. Councilman Fritz, and moving out. What's up? Lay it on us.
Mike, you want to?
We had a really productive meeting here a couple weeks ago. We're just kind of getting to know each other for the most part. Obviously, we're not in a position to decide anything until certain information is gathered and prepared between both municipalities and Avon. And
So Pam, did you get the soil borings that Mike had, he sent me and I can't remember if I pushed them on or anything, so maybe not.
if anyone has a card, I'll send you. What's Dave's last name? Not him. Okonski. He sent me boring samples from a building that's 100 feet away. My objective is to save money where we think we can.
How many core boards do they do?
I have to send you the report. I did send it to Bob's.
Yeah, I'm sure it got
It's might be a junk
swallowed
folder or
somewhere.
something. But also, if you have a card,
Been
I'll send it to you. And we were under the understanding that Central Berks had done borings next door. That is not the case.
There was money in their budget to do it, but
They didn't do it. So we're gonna probably ask you, Pam, take a look at it. You know, typically it's, you get one boring, at least the water, you know where groundwater's at. And then, you know, if they did any compressive sampling, if it's not adequate, send in the drillers, you know.
Again, not looking to sidestep any elements of the construction, but obviously if it's something that we would consider in the test results, I think we certainly should. Beyond that, again, we just kind of get to know, just kind of spitballing some ideas. Derek wasn't here. Just for future stuff that, you know, the possibilities of what the indoor environment could be. So that's really nothing as far as.
yeah, like we talked about, you know, where, if you have a wash area, where do you put it and stuff?
Yeah.
In the middle or at an end and stuff, and we came to the conclusion it would be at the end where the restrooms with sewer, closer to the sewer line.
All makes sense.
All that stuff. And then you can also put a curtain up.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
No splash.
minimize splash, yeah.
Mr. Okonski did, make a formal appeal to Harrisburg for an additional $100,000.
But his guy's quitting and trying for the treasurer, so I don't know.
I have not heard anything since then.
Once you say the trailer, you just signed up.
So just for information, the two, heating oil tanks we have downstairs, I've convinced Derek to get them out under the contract for the natural gas, but to maybe store those because they could become engine waste oil and perhaps have some sort of heater in the future there using the waste oil and stuff like that. So by trying to think ahead a little bit, some of these things, we're not gonna see needs and money flying, down the road, so.
That's about it, because obviously we couldn't discuss anything beyond what was on the papers in front of us as far as the prints and the current quotes. So they were going to try to connect with some of those contractors, and I believe one of those said there might be a little bit of a price increase. And business is business. I said it's simple. If you want the job, hold the line on the cost, or we shop it around. That's business, you know. And that much I would hold the line on. Because the quotes weren't that long ago. And to their dismay, prices did not continue to decline like that.
Steel's gone up.
That's a money grab.
Steel's gone up though.
It's not ascending like it was.
Yeah, I would agree, yeah. There was a couple,
even
pretty steep ascent, yeah.
You know, it's going up 5, it'll probably 115 by the time we're here from now. I'll shop it around before I agree to that. And that's an out of town firm. I don't care what they did next door, it doesn't matter. Or what they did for them on the property, it doesn't matter. This is about money.
What else? Anything?
It's about
You guys will meet again?
No, that's it, yeah.
Well, yeah, one of the things is we'd like to get the legal aspects between agreements.
I've been speaking with John Clemens about that and trying to get a meeting with that together as well.
Yeah.
Anything else? You got a new, are you gonna try to meet again in the future?
Yeah, we didn't set a future meeting date. Part of it was we wanted to get, like through this meeting and stuff and find out.
Do you want to try to maybe schedule something in January, like look at again, mid-January after we organize everything, see if we have any updates and go from there?
Yeah, sounds reasonable. Is that all right with you, Mike?
Yeah, again, I'm in Jones waiting room.
Yeah.
All right, anything on the library?
Library received the donation that was approved last month. Very grateful. The board meeting is until next week, so there's no report on it.
Anything on municipal land?
Just, I guess we did put up the signs, as people have heard. It's a dangerous business, but we got signs put up. And we don't have a permit per se yet set up. And I believe Susan's been
I have a
telling.
list of about 20 people.
Right, and they've been giving you the information and stuff.
I got names and phone numbers.
Right, okay.
And I
So that's
asked
a
you
start.
for a hunting license, you realize this is only archery.
Yes,
They
so,
say, oh yeah, we know, I'm like, okay,
so,
what more can we do?
right, at this point in time, but you're letting them know next year, they're gonna have
Next
to
year,
come
the
in.
growing process will be.
On the issue of tree stands, some of these are way back up in there. And I would be content with them just taking it off the tree and chaining it to the tree. So not have necessarily dragging it all the way home would minimize the chance of a kid climbing up and falling off of a 20-foot tree stand. I don't know if you would agree with that, but.
Don't they make guards for those that they can't climb up? Like they do some of your ship ladders and access ladders and some of your.
I've not seen any of those in the woods, but I believe there are some of those, but I don't know if it actually.
I've asked them about tree stands, most of them said they have the portable ones that
Yeah,
you take with
right.
you. No one told me they have a permanent one, so.
Yeah,
all the people
there's
that
about a
I've
half a
talked to
dozen.
have portable ones.
Right, the
They could
ordinance,
be old.
right, the ordinance requires they be tagged and then they be removed.
Right,
See,
right.
Yeah, I think if you're asking is removal count if it comes off of elevation and somehow gets securely stays there at the tree, I think that's removed in our world.
Yeah, I would agree with that, rather than one of the ones that you have up against a tree. It's without a four-wheeler, and I don't think we want to have them, we don't authorize four-wheelers going up there for that.
They have to get the trail maintainer guys to go get it for them, right?
So anyway, so that's just a clarification that, you know, as we.
Yeah, I think that's the intent of our thing is that they don't stay up at elevation.
Or as you say, a safety bar across it.
Yeah.
But I think it's better to actually get it down, than it's less of a nuisance.
Recreation, anything to report? Planning commission, you guys had a meeting for the conditional use zoning hearing board, no report. General comments, and nobody, unless council has general comments, or the mayor may have general comments?
I have a comment. I would just like to express appreciation to Allison, Dave, and probably Susan, maybe Joan, whoever was involved in producing the budget. I think they did an excellent job. It's a hard job. Allison.
It's just numbers, they just take the lunch by. Don't give it.
Smack
I have a question for council,
Go ahead.
and I have a request of council. I haven't done this for a lot of years because I didn't have to. Y'all are aware of my involvement with the Exeter Township Sanitary for the last almost 19 years now. And we've had a couple generous donors that required us not to have to pay for candy canes. That has dried up. And I was wondering if the borough would be willing to make a small contribution to the candy cane fund to make sure that little elves get their full-size candy cane.
What's a candy cane cost?
Well, they're close to $1 a piece now.
Okay, we have what, 1,900 kids? No, 1,900 people.
Wow.
They're only 9 kids.
18 or 90 that are not all kids, so let's say a third of them are kids.
Kind of cut down because they no longer run the candy canes. You have to come to the curb.
Also, there's
So
less
that
than
cuts
that.
it in half. So we're looking at about 3,000 candy canes. I'm looking for $150.
150 candy canes will be thrown or given out in St. Lawrence. Put your hand it over.
Hand it out.
And they have not asked me this, I'm here under my own volition.
Is there a motion? Is there money left over in the recreation playground fund? No. Is there a motion?
Anything under the road?
Is that your motion? The request for?
Yeah, that's his request.
That's just a request, that's all.
I mean, one
Trying
propose.
to be sure that we don't run out of candy canes, you never know, you can never plan.
Well, I don't care if we run out outside the borough.
Well, unfortunately, it's the fourth night of the tour.
Well, I want the Berks St. Lawrence ones set aside. I don't want that to
I'll put
be,
them in the city.
being put out there on stage 1 through 3. I want a different color. Maybe we get green ones. We know those are green.
You want color or you want peppermint?
I'm sure we can afford to spend $150 where, I don't know where you want to get it from, but I'll make a motion.
We get them up now, I mean, Walmart used to be a little accommodating, not anymore. So
you're making a motion that we provide $150 for the candy cane distribution for the kiddies in St. Lawrence. Is that your motion?
Yes.
A motion to move seconded to expend $150 for candy cane. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed.
I abstain.
Motion passed. You don't have to abstain.
Who made the motion?
Warren did. Take it out of the tree stand fund. Okay?
Very good, very good. You're not a bunch of Grinches.
I'm sorry, that's locked up right now.
There's one left over.
So, public meeting announcements. All public meetings are held at St. Lawrence Borough Hall. Our borough office is closed November 10th, well, too bad, 23rd and 24th. And then council meetings December 14th at 7:30 p.m. And we have old business. Is there a motion to approve the 2024 contract with the Animal Rescue League at a cost of $2.50 per person, times $18.92 for, and this is our, when police or someone calls, there's a stray animal, or we have another rabid cat feral colony take over the borough, we get to call them and they have to take care of it all. I personally think they earned their money this year.
Yes, they did.
I'll second it.
Motion moved and seconded to approve the 2024 contract with the Animal Rescue League. And all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed.
Is that 1892, is that accurate?
That is the current census count.
Is that, if it was 1822, that basically can't. Sorry. 250 a piece, 7 is not.
And then we have a motion to reaffirm the Line Block Family Lot Annexation Plan originally adopted on May 11, 2023, because we ran out of time to adopt it.
No, I ran out of time to file it till we got all the components and I was past the 90-day.
So you need a new reaffirming for the new
I need it
application.
reaffirmed, Susan has to sign a letter that says council voted and reaffirmed it, but I can actually take the plan and file with anything.
So moved.
Yeah, second.
Sorry, motion moved.
Just questions.
Oh, point of clarification.
After a second, you can have questions. You have to file with the county and have your deeds and stuff changed and stuff, or he asked it for that. Is that at your expense and stuff? Is that?
Yeah, this is personal.
Oh, yeah, it's all my expense.
I mean, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was pretty sure that's what it was, because I remember we've done this for some
Yeah.
other,
Subdivisions.
some other
Yeah.
little pieces of property, and they had to pay for all the filing and all that type of stuff, so. Okay.
Point of
Just wanted to make sure
clarification.
everybody knows
Oh,
that we're treating this exactly the same as we've treated it else.
it's when the super highway goes through.
No, this was just all a timing
Yeah.
factor.
I'm sorry, there was a motion and a second, and we had point of clarification. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. We're now moving to page 3 of 3.
Yeah, surprising.
A, motion to authorize Borough Secretary Manager to advertise the approved preliminary fund budgets.
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved second to authorize advertisement of the preliminary fund budgets. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. There's a motion we need a motion to authorize the Borough Secretary Manager to advertise the 2024 meeting schedule of Borough Council and the Planning Commission
You
and
have that in your-
reorganization meeting.
Those meetings are in the back of your packet.
Planning already approved their own, but you have to approve them. We always do back there.
The reorg and the first meeting of the year are the same day.
Yes, January 2nd.
Can't hardly wait.
No, I can't either.
Second.
Motion been moved second to authorize advertisement of the 2024 meeting schedule. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed. Motion passes. Motion to approve a letter of support to the Mount Penn Borough Municipal Authority local share account statewide grant program for the Never Sink Tank rehabilitation project, routine maintenance, improved site security, and adding a tank mixer. That's not like, adult beverages in there. It's just usually like a little propeller that just moves the water.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my sparrow thing going to.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve a letter of support from Mount Penn Borough Municipal Authority for local share account. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Any other comments, general things from council? I want to bring up some maybe potential talk and discussion. I'm wondering if it might behoove us at some point with our municipal works building to have a municipal authority and put that whole thing under an authority and then start maybe moving sewer lines and everything else. And I don't know if that makes any difference. I don't know how much it costs to have an authority, but it would get us, if there's anything in the future, it's all on the authority, it's not the council authority. Food for thought.
What does it take to create something?
Let's say, you don't really know what the expense is.
No.
Ordinance, well, you have to have a Department of State filing for municipal authority, develop articles of incorporation bylaws.
Find someone to sit on
There's,
it.
Yeah.
it is one of the ways that stormwater charging to residents has been handled.
But it's currently being challenged in court by several suits, that
It
it's a
is.
tax on fee, so.
And so you've got it's a way of providing operations, but
So we'll try to have something, if it's an actual dollar amount, if there's a better idea, or if it maybe flush out that idea.
Yeah. I usually think of authorities when you're going out and getting money, getting.
Right.
it's, yeah.
Yeah, but that, I
That was
don't,
part of the sewer authority, that's how it got started.
yeah,
Yeah.
but see, but it would just, I don't know if it makes sense, or if it would make sense perhaps in the future, so I just want people to think about it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay, motion been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, all opposed. Motion passes. Thanks for your time.
Don't leave yet, I believe there's something that has to be signed.
Here, come on, Dave.
Don't leave yet, there's something to sign. I'll just multiple
Yeah.
copies.
Well, we didn't bring up the Wolf Creek dive.
I mentioned Wolf Legion, I didn't even say
I
anything.
didn't
Yeah,
even
I heard
say
it.
Wolf
You did.
Legion
We
dive.
did.
EDUs.
Oh.